Until you're willing to bleed to make your dream become a reality, your dream will be just that, a dream. See, so many people talk and talk and talk, but very few walk and walk and walk and turn their walk into a jog and their jog into a sprint, which is okay. But the problem is, they resent those of us who made the choice to put ourselves in position to hoist the banners. They resent those of us who made the choice to keep pushing, even when our skin got a little moist, because we understood that that moisture, aka sweat, would eventually build, and all of that sweat equity would allow us to never sweat or worry about struggle. That sweat equity would allow us to never sweat, worry, or stress, because winners like us chose to bury all of our fears. Winners like us chose to bury all of our doubts, all of our indiscretions, and we took all of our life lessons and refurbished, repackaged, recreated, and reused all of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the failure, all of the setbacks, and turned them into get-backs. And that's why we continuously get back up and will always get back up. When life pops up and pops us in the mouth, we may drop and we may go down, but it's never for the count. You can bet your bottom dollar that you can count on winners like us to always come through in the clutch. Well, losers and slackers would say this is way too much and throw in the towel. That's the very moment that overcomers like us dial in, and our heart of a champion instincts kick in, and our will and determination gets in, kickstarts our engine, and drives us to a victorious outcome. See, your problem is your inner warrior never comes out. It stays hidden and buried, and that's why you're always worried and living by woe is me. But today, I need you to totally flip it, because your curse of fear has just been lifted, and thus your will and passion to be great has just been uplifted. And this is the moment that you remember you are gifted with a purpose, and it's time for you to walk in it and live it. But you gotta be willing to hurt for your dream. You gotta really want and need your dream.
Sometimes the problem is the methods of trying to get respect. The problem is the ways of trying to be cool and hip. The problem is the avenues of trying to be different. All of you have choices, and your choices will determine your outcome. Your outcome does not have to be negative. Your outcome can be a positive one. Your methods can lead to a good life. Your ways can lead to a rewarding life. Your avenues can lead to a successful life. You may just want a simple life, which is absolutely okay.
Have you ever had a bad dream and you wake up and you're married, right?
Yes.
And you see your wife and you're like, okay, that was a dream.
Right.
Right? I think for a long time, for 2 or 3 years, I thought I was living a fucked up dream. And I kept waiting to wake up, Tim was the first person that forced me to talk, just to talk. And it's amazing when you just open your mouth and you start saying how you really feel about stuff. I mean, think about how many people really say how they feel.
Virtually nobody.
Exactly. And I think Tim was the first person I actually started to have like full transparent conversations with.
Right.
I was like, I don't like the person I was. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I cheated a lot on my girlfriend. I lied a ton. I was consumed by money. I used to gamble. I never gambled. I would say things just because it was the right thing to say. Not that I was maliciously a bad person.
Right.
I just never even thought about what my actions were. I was too busy moving. And Tim forced me to stop. And I still stop myself to this day.
And you stop yourself from what? Focusing on who you don't want to be and focus on who you do want to be? Or?
I press pause in life sometimes, and I think it helps. I recalibrate.
To try to get out of an obsessive thought?
Yes, or just to, even to get out of funks, whatever may be. I'm a firm believer in that you have to find balance in life, right? So there are gonna be times where your journey is gonna be down here and it's gonna be tough. And the same when things get high. You sign a new deal, or you have to be able to keep things in perspective. And I think sometimes when I stop, I force myself to assess, okay, What are the benefits? What are the negatives? How can I turn this negative into a positive? All right, let me make sure that I don't get too high and I continue to keep my head down and work harder because I want to achieve more. If it's not for me, for the people that work for me or for my girlfriend or my mom deserves better. So I try to find that one thing because I'm very goal oriented that I need to work towards. And once I achieve that, it's another goal. And I don't want it to ever stop because that's what life should be. You hear that? That's the only person you're dealing with is you when you're quiet. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to look inside yourself or to spend time with yourself. And whenever I do a talk or when I talk to people who I think are going through a lot of pain, I first tell them, okay, I understand what you're going through, but you just need to stop for 1 second. Because what we have a tendency to do is we over-inundate ourselves with other things that really don't matter to keep ourselves busy, to keep not thinking about the things that do matter. So once you're finally able to stop yourself and you're present with yourself, you have to go back and you have to address it. I'm not saying that you're going to find a conclusion right then and there, but you have to recognize that whatever happened did happen. And I try to push people to find silver linings. I think there's truly a silver lining in everything. And once again, it's what you choose to focus your energy on. If you choose to focus your energy on all the things that God took away from you, or whatever entity that is that you believe in took away from you, then you will be consumed with that energy. If you try to force yourself to be consumed with the silver lining, even if you revert back, you have to remind yourself of the silver lining because it gives you a target goal. It's mental targeting. Are you able to focus on something that allows you to get out of your own way? If you don't have a goal to help you get out of your own way, you will be stuck. So what is that? Is that your wife? Is that your parents? Whatever you need to use to be better for, you have to do that. And you have to find that it's only going to come from listening to yourself and spending time with yourself. You are the only person that could change it. At the end of the day, people can want to help you as much as they want to help you. And I don't think complaining is the answer either. I think vulnerability and talking to people about what's actually going on in your life gets them invested in you. And the more you listen to them, gets them invested. You invested back in them, and that's when a bond is formed. But that person can only take you so far. You have to want to take yourself to a different place. And if you don't have that, then you're going to stay stuck. And a lot of people choose to stay stuck. And we see it every single day.
So that always scares me. He's self-aware enough to know that he is the problem and the solution. Do you have like a piece of advice that you get? Or did you tell him anything? Like, what do you say?
I didn't really know what to say at that given moment. And, it scared, a lot of people, they may not properly articulate that, but they live their lives that way. I think the more you're willing to confront it, the more you're willing to talk about it. I think talking helps, man. I know this sounds cheesy.
Not at all.
But I talk to myself, okay? People have seen me and think I'm a little bit crazy. But, I remind myself of what happened. I wake up in the morning and I always make sure that I look at my leg. I can't pick up my big toe, right? So I have to crack my toe. My toe always cracks and it hurts in the morning when I crack it because it gets stiff. And all right, my accident happened like June 19, 2003. It happened. It sucked. It was painful, but it happened. It's a part of my blueprint. It doesn't define me, but it's a part of my story. But a lot of people allow that one moment to define the rest of the story. You can't allow that to happen. And you have to be vulnerable enough with yourself to accept the fact that shit happened. Bad stuff happens to everybody. You have to drive your own car, and if you don't drive it, somebody's going to drive it for you. And that other person who's driving it may not be a person, it may be a darkness, that entity that we talked about, that is easy to get lost and consumed in.
Have you ever thought about waking up, looking at your leg, cracking your painful big toe, and saying, the accident happened, thank God, and I am a fundamentally different human being, and I'm going to impact the lives of countless people because I have a mind that is capable of suffering at a level other people are not, and because I went through the darkest of periods and clawed my way out. Not that it was easy, that I clawed my way out, and I know how to help people now in a way that I never could have understood if I didn't go through it.